I try. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Keith Andrew Network. I am your host, Keith Andrew, with the talented and beautiful Adrianna Concilio. I just want to say thank you for being a guest on my talk show.
You're very welcome.
Now, for people... Oh, go ahead.
Oh, it's a pleasure.
Yeah, the honor is all mine. For people who want to know what my talk show is about, the whole point of my talk show is to show people that even with having a learning disability, I can still amount to something. And at the same time, I'm able to turn myself into an example for people out there dealing with any types of learning disabilities and disabilities. But you should never give up and prove people wrong. Prove to them that labels do not dictate who you are and who you want to be. And to prove to them you can break the labels. So that being said, half hour, 37 minutes of your time. Don't mind me, sounds like I'm finding something off. I'm not really. So, with that being said, normal conversation. You can say anything you want, talk about anything you want, supporting a good message and cause, plus making a new friend out of it. So that being said, what can you tell us about yourself?
I'm originally from New York. I graduated Paul Smith's College up in the Adirondacks. I got my bachelor's in culinary arts and service management. And I currently work on the line at a restaurant in Monroe called the Captain's Table. And I'm super excited to work there. And I just, my entire life, I always wanted to cook. I always remembered, I used to have the little, like, kitchen plastic play set. I used to play with that all the time. And my Nana, when I was younger, she showed me how to make pignoli meatballs and pastas and raviolis. And I've always loved cooking. Like, that's always been my favorite thing to do. And funny story, maybe my mom and dad will see this, I don't know. But my mom's a pretty good cook, but my dad, when I was younger, he tried making hamburgers one time, and my mom came home from bowling. I was like 7 or 8, and there was just smoke all in the house because he couldn't cook. He just couldn't cook. So I think I got the lucky gene with that one. And a little fun fact from when I was in college, we used to do this pig bucket thing where instead of throwing out our scraps, we would actually donate it to a farm. And I think in return we got like organic vegetables and stuff like that. So I actually took that back down here with the table, and I talked to my boss maybe 3 or 4 months in working there, and I was like, hey, we have like a salad station, fresh salad. So I was like, do you think we could save the scraps and donate them somewhere? She was like, yeah, if you can find a place. So that's what I did. There's a place right down the road from us called Museum Village. They have chickens, they have hens, guinea hens, goats. So about every day we get about a bucket to a bucket and a half of like lettuce, carrots, all this other stuff. And we have some kind of partnership now where we'll give them our scraps. I'll actually go feed the chickens. I love doing it now. And she'll give us like fresh eggs right from the chickens. It's amazing. So that's
nice.
That's my excitement that I have going on right now.
Hey, if you're up for it, maybe we can hang out sometime.
Sounds good.
Now, my next question I was going to ask you is because we both went to Monroe Library, is what were some of your favorite moments, and did you ever do any sports?
So when I was in high school, I never played on the actual high school team, like the JV varsity. I played more recreational. I played softball. I did like it for maybe 4 years, but then I kind of grew out of it. But thankfully from softball, I actually did meet a really good family that they've become essentially my family too. Like their mom is like my mom and vice versa, and that was the one good thing that came out of it. But as far as high school went, I think my favorite class was foods with Miss Kostelnik. She was probably one of my favorite teachers besides, did you have Mr. Garan?
Not really, but Miss Kostelnik, I remember, she was in charge of the Big Brother Row Brothers.
Oh, she was?
Yes.
Oh, that I didn't know. I had her for foods 1 and 2. And I also had gone to BOCES for my junior and senior year. And I think it was my senior year, we did the Pro Start culinary competition and for New York State. And we actually took first place. we won the competition, and we went to nationals in, where was it? It was in Maryland, but we didn't win that time. But it was just so cool to say that I won a cooking competition, and I'm in high school, and I actually have my medal still hanging up in the living room.
Hey, if you want to show it, you're more than welcome to.
Yeah, why not? I'm so proud of it.
No, you should be. And that's an amazing thing. Congrats. That's really nice.
Yeah. This is probably one of the prouder moments I have in my life.
Well, while we're showing off medals and trophies and everything, this belt right behind us, actually, I can show you. The long story about this is I originally got over 300 interviews.
Are you serious?
Yep. And
That's
I wanted a trophy for myself. And little by little, even though you can see it's starting to peel, and that's one thing it antagonizes me about. But I got over 300. I want to get a trophy for myself. And then little by little, people were backing out of it, saying, yeah, my agent said, my publicist said, you're degrading, we don't want to be seen as people like you, and they're making idle threats. So I said, screw it. I took it all down, and then I did it again. So originally, I'm called Uncensored. And if you watch my beginning episodes, right, I would say something, oh, you're episode 219, but yeah, in a little disclaimer box, it says episode 19. So I rebranded all the episodes. So I got up to 600, again, in total. But thanks to you, we're back up to 482.
Nice.
So I had the chance to give up or say, screw it, I'm going to do it again. So I bought myself a trophy. I could have gotten something like what you have, like a little trophy, hanging up and never see it again. But I'm like, I want something special. Well, I am a wrestling fan, and the one thing I like about it is it was custom made. I got to make this.
I see that.
And,
I like it.
Oh, go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, I said I like it.
I call it my imperfect belt because you can see it has a little scuff mark. Because I told them I wanted this to be glass. Unfortunately, it's plastic, and it occasionally these little things will peel up. And I made it. I had a bright idea, saying, "Oh, hey, maybe if I glue it, it will be fine." Unfortunately, I used Gorilla Glue, so it smudged a little. So when I went to wipe it with the paper towel, now I have that damn mark there.
Ugh.
So yeah, it's my imperfect belt, but I use this for a symbol for everyone out there saying, hey, it doesn't matter what you're labeled or what people label you. If a kid who's labeled as mentally disturbed or handicapped, retarded, can have his own talk show, then he should be a perfect example for people out there saying, labels do not dictate who you are and who you're going to be, and you should prove to them you can stem out to something.
Well, I think you're doing a very good job of what you do.
Yeah, I appreciate it. And my next question I was going to ask you is, what did you mention about you have a passion for food? So when you went to college, is that what you pursued, or didn't you go to college?
I did pursue culinary, yes. I culinary arts and service management. Sorry. Come on, Mama.
No, the cat's more than welcome to be part of it.
Okay. But yeah, no, I did pursue culinary in college. I actually went for 3 years, but I graduated with my 4th year because I was able to do summer classes that made it easier for me to speed it up a little bit. And then with all the scholarships and grants that I had saved up for, I was actually able to go to Italy for my last semester of college. So we went for 3 weeks. It was me and a small group of kids, and we did a tourism management plan for the Apennine Park in Italy. And it was a great experience. I never thought I'd ever do anything like that. I never thought I'd actually go to Italy.
Yeah, nice. It's on my things to do list.
And when we were there, they actually showed us how to make authentic tortelli, which was pretty cool. They showed us how to make the pasta and how they cook it in their kitchen. It was an amazing experience.
What about any sports? And was there any a time in your life where you wanted to be like a professional sports person, or did you just do it for fun?
I did the sports thing for fun, but no, that was pretty much it. I enjoyed playing floor hockey in high school too, but well, I actually wanted to be a veterinarian when I was younger, but then I found out like I couldn't do the killing part of it.
Yeah.
So like I like animals that much, too much, but I just can't do that. So I refocused and unintentionally I just started cooking.
Yeah, I agree. I thought about working in a veterinarian's office, but yeah, putting the animals to sleep, it's really difficult. I've been there a couple times and I couldn't deal with it. What about, did he ever get the chance to do one of those human pyramids, or not into the whole human pyramid stuff?
No, I don't think I ever got to do that.
Would he ever be interested in doing one? I'm a loser. I love that stuff.
I don't know. I never really thought about that. No, right now I don't really have a lot of time for, like I told you,
Right.
my slow messaging back, I felt bad, but I'm always working.
Hey, maybe one day, right?
Yeah, but I enjoy working.
Well, the next question I was going to ask you, have you ever been to Woodbury Commons? And have you
Yeah,
ever worked in Woodbury Commons?
I actually did, when I first turned 15. Yeah, as soon as I turned 15, I got the working papers from the high school, and my first job was actually at Van Heusen. And then from there, I actually got a second job at Echo, the shoe store. So I was doing both of those jobs while I was in high school, and I've just been working. Did I really like the Commons? I'm sure anybody from Monroe Woodbury would agree. Like, what do you think?
Um, okay, look at it like this. During the summer, when it's really nice out, I like walking around. It's good exercise.
Hmm.
But it depends on the store. Some stores are really nice, and some stores are just full of assholes. I worked for, let's see, my very first job I had was, going back, late 2004 until 2007, I worked over at North Face.
Hmm.
Then I worked over at KB Toys and Skechers for a little bit.
Hmm.
I worked for Home Goods for 2 days. Yeah, long story about that. Saks Fifth, I hated that freaking job, and that was one of my biggest mistakes ever going that place. Um, let's see, North Face, Skechers, KB Toys, Saks Fifth. I worked for Huss Puppies before they closed.
I didn't.
No, go ahead.
No, I didn't know that they closed.
Yeah, it was a year ago that they're losing and they were looking for temporary people. I'm like, well, I need a temporary job. Why not? Even though I don't like selling sneakers because it's a real pain in the ass.
Hmm.
So I worked for them, and now I'm working at Toys R Us until they close.
Um, yeah, that's so unfortunate that Toys R Us is actually closing. But for the Commons, I just didn't like the traffic. Like the traffic, a lot of the customers, like you probably know, they're rude. Some of them didn't smell pleasant, and some of them didn't speak English, which it made it a little hard. But like from me working at the shoe store, where my clientele was predominantly Chinese and
Yeah.
French, I learned actually a couple Chinese words, which was great. Like I never thought I'd actually learn anything Chinese. Sorry, my cat is playing with my iPad.
No, it's fine. I have that effect on animals.
She's
Hey,
like
anything can happen live.
ugh. But Van Heusen I liked a lot. That was like my kind of clothing. That, and I always need nice dress clothes. So I got a nice discount.
Well, it's funny you should mention discount. I don't get that anymore, unfortunately. But actually, I thought about going to Van Heusen. Would you recommend it?
I would. I would. I don't know who's working there now because it's been 8 years, but when I was there, all the managers were pretty good. I just didn't like Black Friday.
It has its moments. It depends on what you're doing.
That's true. Yeah. When I did my first Black Friday in the Commons, I actually did both stores. So I did like 24 hours. So I did a 12-hour shift at one. I took like a 20-minute power nap, and then I did the rest at the other one. It was insane.
I remember when I worked at this past Black Friday. Usually, I get lucky. I don't have to work that day, or if I do, I had to later in the day. But it's like, oh, Keith, we have you working. Okay, 10 p.m. All right, to what? Maybe 8 in the morning. Okay, that's fine. Am I being a cashier because I like ringing? No, you're not being a cashier. Okay, can I be, because I have ADD, I have to be constantly moving. Am I on the sales floor? No. All right. Am I doing stock? No. What the hell am I doing? Oh, you're gonna be greeter.
Oh.
It's like all right, and go ahead.
No, that was the one thing that I have to move too. Like I have to do, it's constantly doing something. Like I can't stand around and not do anything. But oh man, I think that was one of the jobs at one of the stores. Like we had to stand in certain spots and make sure everybody got greeted because the Commons did the secret shopper thing.
Yeah.
And a lot of the stores took that so seriously. That was one thing I just didn't like about it.
It's true. So I was like pacing back and forth, and I was saying to people, hey, have a good night, have a good day. And I'm thinking about, it's friggin' 1 in the morning. Shouldn't you people be sleeping? It's like working with a bunch of vampires.
I know. Every year. I think it's kind of dying out now. The whole Black Friday fab.
Yeah, because of the whole online shopping. I am guilty of the whole shopping online. But I like, the whole human interaction, meeting people. I don't want to be a hermit for the rest of my life.
I don't blame you. Alongside with, like, everything that I do, my boyfriend's actually in the next room, too. He's playing PUBG. But I actually play a couple video games. And it's, when I was younger, you know World of Warcraft.
Yes.
Okay. I was one of those WoW freaks. So I would play from... Oh, God, this is going to sound awful. When I was in high school, I would play from, like, maybe 6 p.m. until, like, 3 a.m. Because we would do the raiding. We would be on Ventrilo. We would be talking to each other. Oh, I was a WoW freak. And now I'm playing my childhood game, Toontown. So they shut down in 2012. And then the staff of a group of young, not, like, super young. They're maybe 3 years younger than me. They brought the game back to life, and when I saw it on Facebook, I was like, oh, it's back? So I've been playing it since I've been 8. When I was 8, I started. I just love video games.
No, but while on the subject, what system do you have? Do you have, like, Xbox, PlayStation?
I currently have an Xbox One, I think. I don't usually play, that's Andrew's. And, I have a PS2 and an N64.
Oh, nice. Can't beat the classics.
No, that's why I got it. They're so hard to find.
Have you ever thought about buying the Super Nintendo Mini or the Sega Mini?
No. Like, for me, those two didn't really, like, catch my interest. Because when I was younger, my babysitter at the time, she had the N64, so whenever we got home from school, we would always play, like, Super Mario or Mario Party. And now she was a big, avid Mario Party player. She passed away, so that was another reason why I got my N64, because it reminded me of playing when I was at her house.
Oh, no.
But sometimes I'll hook up my PS2 and I'll play, like, that Simpsons game, Hit and Run. Or I had a Harry Potter game, but it's been a rarity since I actually have no time in my life.
I understand it. I'm in the same way. Since I started the talk show, I've been focused on this for the past 4.5 years. This June it will be officially 5 years. So I really don't play video games anymore. I kind of lost the interest. But before then, I was addicted to it. I was on there a lot. But I was going to ask you, I'm probably dating myself. I'm only 30. But do you remember IMVU?
I heard about that game, but I never played it. I actually ended up playing Second Life.
I heard about that, but I never used it.
my computer isn't that great, so it can't like render the graphics pretty good, so it's not like enjoyable to play. But I learned how to do like a couple scripting and how to build certain models. And when we did a project in college, I actually figured out how to. We were making our faux restaurant, so I actually made a replica. But it took me so long, I didn't get to fully finish it. But it was a good asset because it has like sandboxes that you can just build anything you want.
Yeah, it sounds like fun.
Mm-hmm.
Now, my next question for you is, how do you feel about social media? With everything you've done in your career, and you're an upcoming cook, do you think social media dictates if you should get a job, or do you think it helps you, or do you? For an example, for what I'm trying to say, is because you're a professional cook,
Mm-hmm.
and people say, "Oh, are you on Facebook? Are you on Twitter, LinkedIn, all that fun things?"
Mm-hmm.
Do you think by telling them yes, it helps, or do you think telling them no, it hurts?
I think it depends on the person. If you understand that social media will be around forever and anything that you put online will be there forever, then yeah, I think if you have that knowledge and you don't like put anything that you shouldn't online, you'll be fine. But if you have people who don't care, like, oh God. Okay, so a couple months ago we had a girl, she worked for maybe 4 days, but she had some of us on social media and she was posting about how she hated the job and how she wanted to get a new job, and essentially our boss found out and she was like you can't put that stuff online because it's going to ruin you. But I mean, for me, I have a LinkedIn just because, sorry.
Don't worry about it.
My LinkedIn, the way that I see LinkedIn is I see it as basically your online resume.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's the easiest way to update it because I don't think I've touched my resume. I didn't touch my resume for years, or my cover letter, until I got the job at the captain's table because I just never needed to because I was always working upstate. But I think it's good more. I think it's more good because anything that I cook, I can put on Snapchat, I can put on Facebook, I can put on Instagram, and everybody will see it. But I usually don't do like the whole hashtag thing, so it's probably not getting viewed publicly like the way that other people would want it. But I don't. Sorry. But I don't like. I have like all my stuff on private. Like if people add me and I know who they are, like I'm okay with that. But if it's a total stranger, then I kind of have a problem with that because I don't want them to get too into my personal life. But as far as social media, I think it's good when it comes to my kind of career.
No, absolutely. And then the next question is, do you have like certain recommendations that people gave you that says you would, give me an example, say you met someone and they gave you a recommendation and say, oh, you're a fantastic cook, and that's like from an upcoming celebrity or a CEO. Does that give you more of a leverage of getting the job over the next person?
I think it depends. Like, how do I want to word this? Like, if a celebrity says that to you, is that what you mean?
Oh, well, yes, but also if it's written too. Because if you go to my website and go recommendations, I have a whole list of people who give me recommendations. Do you think something like that it's good to have on a resume?
People who recommend you?
Yes.
And essentially, yeah, because it's like a reference. Like, if people are giving you those references, then obviously you did a good job and they want to help you out. So that's always a plus.
It is. Now, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and what's the last couple minutes left, I will pass the show over to you.
Oh, gee, thanks.
Very.
Arlene Schofield.
My name is Shireen Snow.
My name is Carla A. Miles.
Diana Camuto.
This is Christine Dunford.
I'm me, Eden.
Caroline Macy. This is Walker Fannin.
I'm Camille Dixon.
I'm Miss Dates Wardam.
My name is Linda Presson, and you're watching the Keith Andrew Network.
Me, Mark Medley.
Hi, everybody, this is Mark Neely.
Barry Babick.
This is Peter Bruno.
My name is Kyle Collier.
This is Julio Santiago, better known as Dynamite.
I'm Richard Epcar.
Lawrence Chow.
This is Kerrigan Mahan.
This is Goldar.
And we both support
Keith Andrew.
My name is Ron Wasserman, and I am supporting Keith Andrew and what he is doing, and you better do the same, or I'm gonna come kick your ass.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the KeithAndrewNetWork. This is episode 482. I'm here with the talented and beautiful Adrianna. I just want to say thank you for being with us.
It was a pleasure. This was a lot of fun.
No, absolutely. Hey, you're supporting a good cause, making a new friend out of it. With that being said, with the last 10 minutes left, I will pass the show over to you. Was there anything you want to ask me? Anything you want to talk about? This is your time, after all.
Well, when did you decide that you wanted to be a talk show host?
Let's see. Trying to find the right year. When I went to, as you know, to Monday Woodbury, trying to think. Having like a brain fart. It was 2005. I was in my junior year, and I used my brother for an inspiration. He had his own show in college. And I went, alright, I want to do that too. And then I realized in each room had a TV. And I talked to Mr. Earl. I don't know if you ever got the chance to meet him.
I think I did.
Alright. He was in charge of the audio-visual department. So, yeah. Don't mind me, brain fart. So when I joined audio-visual department, the whole point of it was, this is my 4 years summed up, and I would like to hear how you sum up your 4 years. First year, 2003, I had my brother's friends who did not graduate, so I was about 15, and I was a loner, not the same person who I was now. And I had all my brother's friends with me, you know, they befriended me and everything, and I was sitting against the wall by myself because I was anti-social. Now I can shut the hell up. So this guy, Tom Earl, walked past me and said, well, why don't you come down to the audio-visual department and make something of yourself? And I did, and you know, I always talked about my brothers, and he says, stop talking about your brothers, be your own person, and do something. And so the following year, sophomore year, I still hung out with a couple people from 03. But towards the end, I joined the audio-visual department. And then, you know, the whole thing was failing and passing grades because people would skip class and be part of the audio-visual department. So I said, you know, I want to be here. He said, well, see your grades. Oh, you have 65s? You can't be here. It's all in my book I'm writing. And it's like, so 65s? You can't be here. So I got upset. I started to cry. And I was like, well, this makes me happy. This is my outlet. And, you know, this girl, Meg Quang, came by. I don't know if you ever met her.
I don't think so.
She's a nice person. And she came in, well, Keith, like, crying. I said I couldn't talk. And he's like, well, why is Keith crying? Oh, he's out there. His assistant, Noreen Guerra. I don't know if you ever met her. He said, yeah, he's been out there for a while. And Mr. Ross says, fine, make you a deal. You can stay here. By the first time you slack off, that's it. You are done for the rest of the school year. And he didn't mean just a sophomore. He meant the entire school year. So I stayed there, and he used to give me, like, copies of cartoon videotapes. And then he used to give me equipment, like headsets, and I ended up giving it to my brother. And he brought it to his college. He was kind of giving me stuff, and then at the same time, I came up with the morning show. Do you know what the morning show is?
Yes, I was going to ask you if you were on that as well.
Actually, not really. I wanted to. And I take a lot of pride in this. I came up with the idea for the morning show. I said to Mr. Earl, hey, you know what would be really cool? I have a morning show. You have TVs in every room. Why not do something? You know, show people. And this is before the special needs came in. But I said, why not you have people on there? It's like if people want to be on a talk show. It'd be good for you. And I went, all right. And you have to talk to your assistant principal. You have to talk to the PTA. You have to talk to the main principal. And I'm like I said, I'm not the same person who I was. So I didn't like cussing and farting. Now I can't shut up. Now if I see something I want, I don't care who's in my way. I will push you out of the way to get your attention. Like say if your boyfriend was talking to you, I don't care if you guys are talking. I will push him out of the way and I will talk to you. I will make sure I have your full attention. And sometimes, that's a good way. Sometimes it's a bad way because I overstep myself. But when I'm very passionate about something, I'm like a laser. I see straight to the point. I kind of rub people the wrong way too. So he said you had to talk to all these people. I said I don't know how to do that. I was nervous. Kevin, let's see. Having a brain fart. Haven't had my coffee. Drew Kaufman, Mike Lennon, and Kevin Jacobs. I don't know if those names ring a bell, but I can send you their videos. And they took the show, and I heard from them. Their art teacher said, "We need to get these kids out of here. They're freaking out of control. Why not do a morning show?" And I'm like, "Well, I came up with it. Keith, you didn't come up with shit." And so I was like, "Fine, you want to have that? Let's have at it." So we had the morning show versus the Keith Andrews show, and I had different names. And fast forward, I used my brother for an inspiration. I used my dad for an inspiration. Once I graduated afterward, I worked at a store. I got sick. I went to West Point. I got certified as a custodian. Work anywhere in New York State. And then I tried working it at Home Goods. Couldn't do it. And then I'm like I said, a lot of different variations. Using my brother for an inspiration. Using my dad. Using my disability. But the one thing that broke the camel's back is I would sit with my family. And my oldest brother before me says, "I don't know what to do with my life. I don't know what to do." My dad's like, "Go talk to him. Go talk to your sister. They know people. They can point you in the right direction." And I said, "What about me?" And I said, everyone needs to stop looking at me. I said, "What about you? You're not educated. You're not qualified. You're not capable of doing something. You piss people off." Okay, I mean I do. I gain a reaction. But I never went to college. I'm not certified. And you're going to be a burden for people. So I said, uncensored. I said, fuck it. I'm going to show you, being labeled as mentally disturbed, handicapped, retarded. I'm going to show you I can still amount to something. And I created my own talk show. And to give you the highlights, when I first started, I was doing old phone conversations. Seemed like a good... I wish I had a quarter for every time I said this. It seemed like a good idea at the time. I did 72 phone interviews. But I was still having panic attacks. And people saying to me, "You have this great format. Why aren't you as big or bigger than you portray yourself to be? Why don't you have people helping you?" Well, would you like to help me with that? No, if you can't do it yourself, it's not meant to be. So I used to hang up the phone like, "Yeah, thanks a lot, asshole." I never used to say it to them. One guy said to me, "Do it over. Try a different approach." So thanks to him, I did a video. And that's when I got up to 300. Plus the demo interview. So I actually got 372. And then people are making idle threats. "Yeah, we don't like the video quality because how you see on the camera your reflection, that's what the camera would pick up." And this is all season 1. And a little bit of season 2. Now, it's cut in half. Because my brother told me about Skype Recorder. Well, he told me about Google. Then I found Skype Recorder. And then I took everything down. I liked giving you the highlights. I'm a huge wrestling fan, if you can see, how WWE presents Hershey's and Snickers, or Hershey's and Snickers presents WrestleMania. I'm like, well, I'm paying for the Keith Andrew Network name. Why not have Keith Andrew Network presents Uncensored? And a lot of people liked the name, a lot of people didn't like the name. I got into a fight with a wrestler over that. He basically told me off. And then at the same time, people were backing out of it, making idle threats. So I said, screw it. I took everything down. And if you watch, I'm not really that good at editing for most of my interviews, so I would say welcome to Uncensored. This is episode 219. My little disclaimer would say 20 because I had to do them all over. I just reformatted them.
Mm-hmm.
And long story short, thanks to you, we're up to 482, but unofficially, I did 4 plus 3, that'll be 6, 772 interviews.
Nice.
So you were supposed to be episode 700s, but I had to do it all over, blah, blah, blah. But you sort of transition, from the phone, from being recorded on the screen, to all these different things, and I'm showing you, hey, look at the process. Yes, I could have done something like this from the start, but then you really wouldn't have seen the process.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, with that being said, that was pretty much the highlights. I just wanted to show you and show everyone with a disability. Look at what I'm able to accomplish. Turning a weakness into a strength. And just giving you the summary.
I think you're doing a very great job of what you do.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Now, you did mention you want to talk about Toontown?
Yeah.
And now, one thing I will want to say real fast, and then I'll pass it over to you wrapping up, is Toontown from Who Framed Roger Rabbit, or is it completely something else?
It's kind of based off of Roger Rabbit, but it's a kid-friendly game. So I believe the idea was that it came from there, but it's a totally different kind of layout. Like, if you Googled it, it would probably not be what you expected it to be. So a basic game summary... Sorry, stop. So a basic game summary of it is these toons run around this town defeating bad guys that are called cogs. But it's not just about, like, what the game is. For me, when I was in high school, I didn't have, like, a large group of friends, but I did have, like, a small, like, close friend group. But I always enjoyed video games. That was my outlet because I didn't do a lot in school. So it started with WoW. I actually met a couple really good friends that I still talk to from when I was 15. A couple of them are married, some of them have kids, like everything. Like, I'm happy to have them in my life. And with Toontown, I was really involved with the game before I got my job at the table. The group that I'm in, it's called ADA. It's called Adult Toontown Addicts. So it's essentially everybody's 18 plus. And it's just like a helper group. We have like 4,000 people. I used to be one of the hosts, so I would help host a couple of the runs because we had like a scheduled list. But once I got my job, I couldn't do it as much. It was just too much. So I stepped down. But I actually have a couple really good friends. I met one guy, his name was Mark. He lives in Pennsylvania, and we were friends for 2 or 3 years before I ended up just texting him one day, and I was like, I'll be at your house in like an hour. He was asleep and he didn't know. And as I'm walking out the door, he was like, Anna, shut the hell up. No, you're not. He was like, don't lie to me. I was like, no, I'm serious. I'll be there. And I like doing impulse things like that. Like, I like traveling. Like, my dad calls me a gypsy. But, I met him. I met a couple other girls. Casey and Kelly, they're twins. One of them lives in, Pennsylvania. I actually got to meet her and her husband, like, from that game. Like, I enjoy the game very much. And last year they had it's almost like Comic-Con, almost. There's a convention center in Pennsylvania, in Pittsburgh. They do a Replay FX every year. So it's like a giant gaming, like, people donate their retro games, like Pac-Man or, whatever. I can't think of any others, but there's, like, 500 of these retro games just throughout the entire venue. And Toontown had its booth there. They were in Kentucky last year. They had a small booth. Not a lot of people knew like what the game was because it's not public. Like when Disney owned it, you had to pay monthly. But they're volunteering their time the Toontown Rewritten community, so we don't have to pay because of whatever legal with Disney. But the team that brought the game back are incredible. Most of them are young. Some of them, they're parents. Some are grandparents, maybe. I don't know. I don't want to offend anybody if they see this. But I got to meet a lot of the community that day. There had to be maybe 100 plus people. And it was just awesome. My friend Mark came to New York, and we carpooled there together. And it was a 3-day event, and I'm going back hopefully this year. If my boss lets me. But, yeah, that was pretty much it. I'm super passionate about the game because it's always been like a warm place in my heart because of how long I played it. It's like nostalgic.
No, absolutely. Now, wrapping up our show, I do have a couple questions for you off the air.
Mm-hmm.
Well, wrapping up, are you on social media? Are you on LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, or are you on any other fun stuff?
I am not on Twitter. I am technically, but I don't use it. But I definitely am on LinkedIn. I'm not really active. I just keep it there for background. But I am on Instagram.
No, I would definitely send you a follow request.
Okay. I think you have. I think I've gotten that.
I'd be honest, I don't remember. I worked so many hours, my mind's kind of on work. I'm expecting them to call on my day off.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't expect that. I hope. Usually, with my job, I got promoted, so I do the food runner schedules and stuff. So they're pretty good about not bothering me when they don't need to. But they're a really good group of kids. Majority of them are in high school, with an exception of a couple that I graduated with. But I love the kids that work with me.
All right. Well, stay tuned. I do have a couple questions for you off the air.
Okay.
Wrapping up our interview segment, when I first approached you to be a guest on my talk show, what was your first reaction when you received the email, and what made you say yes?
I thought it would be a good opportunity because I had never done anything like this. But when I got your request, I wasn't sure if it was spam or not. So when I actually read it, and I did my research on YouTube, and I checked you out to make sure this wasn't fake. Then I went with it because I do like the cause. I think it's a really good idea.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Hey, this is pretty much like therapy for myself. Mm-hmm. It's networking, and you're making a new friend out of it at the same time, so it's a win-win.
Mm-hmm.
But with that being said, we're wrapping up our interview segment. It was a real honor and privilege to have you as a guest.
It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed this.
And I'm looking forward to part 2 down the road.
Oh, why not? Maybe I'll have more stories.
And your boyfriend's more than welcome to join next time.
Yeah, he's playing PUBG right now. But definitely. And my girlfriend, did she ever message you?